It's a good question to ask why anyone would play safe when they have ball in hand and a pretty easy, not simple run out in 9-ball. And it gets a little complicated here. And in my particular case, I'm doing this because I know if I run these balls out, it's just going to be a trashed video that's just useless and nobody ever sees. Because I don't run out with ball in hand. Because I make 9-ball and 8-ball run out videos, not ball in hand videos. And someone somewhere along the line 40 years ago said, if you break and you take ball in hand and you run them out, you're playing pro level pool. And, that's just the biggest crock of nonsense ever stated in the world of pool. And whoever said it really has never banged heads with a pro player. Beating this fictitious ghost with ball in hand on the start of every 9-ball rack is not playing pro level pool. So, of course, the agenda of playing safe is to gain control of the pool table and the game, but doing that isn't really saying much when you can't run out. So let's go deeper into these reasons for a player to play safe. And it really comes down to knowing who you're playing and what their skill level is, because you might not be playing safe to run out, but to get your opponent on 3 fouls. And this scenario would arrive in cases of lesser than pro level pool. The pros almost never 3 foul out. It's almost impossible to do that to a pro level player. But if that's your agenda, it's legitimate, but you have to go a little bit further with your safety, and you really have to see the whole picture. Your opponent already scratched on the break and is already on 1 foul, but a lot of players fail to pick up on that. So it would be time for you to recognize it and to be a little bit smarter than, average level pool or even above average. It's time to go to way above average. So if you play a safety like this, which I'm about to attempt in the video, it's fine and dandy if you do it right. You actually freeze him on the 8-ball and take away all his options, and he goes to his 2nd foul by just trying to wildly hit the 1-ball. But where's the 1-ball left, and how easy is it to get him on 3 fouls? And in this position, it's not easy at all. So what you should have thought about before playing the safety is putting that 1-ball by another ball to make the 3rd foul an easier, better option. Or let's say there's a cluster of balls right here, and right here during the safety, you have an option of breaking out that cluster with the 1-ball. So when he does go on his 2nd foul, you now have a clear, easy run out. Or if you want, you could simply put the 1-ball right by that cluster, so when you get ball in hand again, it's an easy breakout for you and you can go ahead and run them out. At first glance, this might appear to be okay, but I left an advanced, a really good, strong player, a pretty easy safety that's not real apparent. So let's take a look at it. At number 1, I bumped the 8 ball. If I had frozen up to the 8 ball, I would have taken out the top rail, but I didn't. And the other big issue is the 1 ball is a bigger ball, a much bigger ball than it might first appear to be. And a really great player is not going to just whack at this 1 ball and hope for the best. They've got a plan in mind, and you rarely see them being reckless in a situation like this. So they're gonna barely hit this side of the 1 ball, and they're gonna come down and they're gonna get safe behind this mess right here, and they're just not gonna leave you a shot. So your safety actually backfires and gives them a safety, and now the ball's back in your court, and you're gonna have to do your best. If I had frozen up to the 8 ball, I would have taken a direct angle off the top rail out of the equation, and any player would have a lot of trouble hitting this ball, so it would have been to my advantage. But if you look back on the video, I just barely bumped the 8 ball, and that just screwed up the whole plan. Yeah, it's a C-, and it's actually a generous grade because the gauge, again, is against the pro players. Yeah, everything was going great with the run out until I wound up hitting the 9 ball, coming back over for the 4. And I played safe and we lined up like this, which is a little bit better than it appears to be here. We're not frozen on any ball, but we have taken a direct angle away from our opponent. And if your opponent happens to be a top shelf player, he's got this kick here, which is his absolute best option. He's trying to hit the 4 ball, in our view, on the left-hand side of the 4 ball so he can bounce off the rail and get safe himself or herself. But there is one other option, which you'll see me attempt. And the issue with this is it's do or die. You either make the 4 ball or you're going to lose this game and give it back to the person who played safe, which in this case is you. So positively, his best option is to kick off the right hand rail and try to get safe himself. This other one is just for the daredevils inside us, which, I have some of that, Yep. You just lost. Or your safety was great, so that's not outstanding. It's a B. That's pretty damn good against the pro. to a graphic before we actually shoot this, because you can't see with this camera angle that right behind this 3-ball is the 4-ball, and the 3-ball is kind of blocking everything, and you just can't see it. So the safety here that I'm playing is just barely nicking the 3-ball and coming off this rail with a little bit of right hand English to freeze it up against the 4-ball. Well, it's again, I barely tapped the 4-ball and kind of screwed up my plan, but the 3-ball is still really hard to hit. The best shot for your opponent here is a 2-railer back on the 3 with an actual chance of making the 3, but it would be kind of fluky and you wouldn't count on it. Another shot which I attempt is to just, shoot off this rail right here, which is really hard because the cue ball is close to that rail, and it's really hard to judge the angle when you have this, but I give it a whirl and I missed the whole 3-ball. So, a B minus. It's not perfect, but it's not real bad either. Yeah, and I just rolled the whole thing that time, including the swing and miss. I just kind of do it different each time to try to figure out which way is best. I'm still experimenting. I don't know what the hell I'm doing behind this computer, but I'm trying, man. You guys got to tell me what you like. What determines a great safety is eliminating the straight angles off the rails, so eliminating rails. By freezing the cue ball, automatically kills 3, 4, 5, and even 6 birds at once. In this case, we're not frozen up to another ball, so I'm relying on the obstruction balls to eliminate those options. We take a look at the layout after the safety. We can go through the table and see all the angles, all the straight angles eliminated on this safety. So do you see the correct shot yet? It's a 2-railer, and the best of the best are going to shoot 3 rails and not kick it and stick it, but actually roll up behind the 5-ball to where you're pretty much screwed. And I'm going to try something a little bit different, and I'm going to use this natural angle, but I'm going to kill the angle off the rail with a whole lot of right hand English and eliminate this angle to make this angle. And what happens is I wind up putting a little too much English on it, and I miss the ball.
That was a good one.
Tried to freeze you up on it or something.
That was a good one.
Here's one of the most obvious and kind of mouth-watering safeties in all pool games, and it comes up all day and all night, but a lot of times, players just don't see it, and you gotta start seeing these. It's a stun shot and another attempt at freezing that cue ball on the 4-ball and taking away all options from your opponent. Again, I kind of bumped a 4-ball, and I did leave Steve a message shut, which he does attempt, but winds up giving me ball in hand. So I'm just going to include the run out too, and it's not real pretty. Everything's going fine until I get bad on the 7, and I have to kind of poke the 7 in order to get on the 9-ball. And at that point, Shirley comes in, and some other guy comes in, and here's where we are. This lady ain't right.
Don't let her watch your tape and hear you say that. I thought I'd mention that. I can see y'all watching the practice sessions. You saying?
I'll take the audio out.
Yeah, be sure to take that off there. Hello.
Who broke? Hey, Shirley, why you got a coat on, huh?
Raincoat.
It's what?
Yep. I want to get melting. You know, washed away. Oh my.
Good shot.
Did you bring some beer?